Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, the What If guy, back with another fanfiction. This is the first part of What If Issei had Dragon Dynamo powers? Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. It was an ordinary day in Japan, with everyone making their way to work and bustling through the streets. In a moving truck was Issei, the main character of our story. He was relocating to Musutafu after his father received a promotion, leaving behind Kuo, a place filled with painful memories. Issei had faced Trihexa, a formidable dragon god, at the young age of 13. Although he had once dreamed of becoming a harem king, the girls in Kuo only saw him as a little brother, leading to his feelings of rejection. However, he decided to let it go, remembering his father's words that there were plenty of other girls out there. Taking a break from the supernatural world, Issei had hoped for a normal life. Unfortunately, that was not to be. After Drake was forcibly taken from him, Issei discovered latent powers he never knew he possessed. These new abilities were stronger than Drake's, which only added to his frustration. He trained with these powers, preparing for any potential threats, but he had vowed never to be a hero again, a promise he would soon find difficult to keep. As Issei prepared to enter Aldra Junior High, his friend Itsuki asked if he was excited. Issei expressed his uncertainty, feeling out of place among students with quirks while he remained quirkless. His mother, Hannah, reassured him that he could still make friends, emphasizing that being quirkless did not equate to being powerless. Issei reiterated his desire for a normal life as a veterinarian, not a hero. Itsuki and Hannah acknowledged his potential but respected his wishes. Upon arriving at their new apartment, Issei began unpacking. He came across a box filled with items from his past that he decided to burn in an alleyway, symbolizing his wish to leave that life behind. His parents, seeing him do this, embraced him, mistaking his actions for sadness. In truth, Issei felt liberated. A new life meant a new beginning. As they continued unpacking, he stumbled upon a box of photographs featuring his old friends. Reflecting on those memories, he realized that he had merely been a tool for them, but perhaps in Musutafu he could forge genuine friendships. Issei tucked those memories away, hoping to heal from the scars they left behind. After settling in, his mother suggested they greet their new neighbors. Issei accompanied her while his father made some work-related calls. When they knocked on the door, it was opened by a green-haired woman. The woman greeted them warmly, and Hannah introduced themselves as the new neighbors. She welcomed them to the building and inquired if Issei was her son. Issei introduced himself, mentioning his quirkless status, hoping to ease any concerns. The woman reassured him that being quirkless did not mean he was powerless. Issei warned Inko to be quiet or he would make her regret it. Inko responded, playfully comparing him to her child. Issei expressed confusion about the quirks in their area, and Inko explained that her daughter was born without one. Despite this, her daughter still aspired to be a hero. Issei questioned whether that was a bad thing, and Inko seemed surprised by his perspective. He reassured her that anyone could be a hero, with or without a quirk, as long as they had the heart to act. Hannah, Issei's mother, interrupted, apologizing for her son's bluntness. She explained that Issei had a tendency to help others without thinking, which had led to trouble in his previous school. Issei requested not to discuss that topic, and Inko reassured them both that it was fine. Hannah expressed hope that they would all get along and meet the rest of the family soon. Inko mentioned that her daughter was at school and wouldn't be back for a while. Hannah waved goodbye, and Issei bowed in apology for his earlier behavior before following his mother to greet the other neighbors. Afterward, Issei informed his parents that he was going to explore the neighborhood. They agreed but reminded him to return for dinner. He ventured outside, enjoying his exploration until he stumbled upon a hero battling a villain. Intrigued, he watched the hero's flashy moves, noting that they seemed more focused on style than efficiency. Issei felt a desire to intervene but ultimately decided against it, reminding himself that he was not a hero. As he walked to the park to relax, he noticed that heroes were everywhere, seemingly engaged in a constant battle against crime. While sipping a soda, he heard explosions and rushed toward the noise. There, he witnessed a group of students bullying a defenseless girl with green hair. The bully taunted her for being quirkless, and Issei felt a surge of anger as he watched the blonde bully injure the girl. Determined to help, Issei donned gloves and approached the bullies. He tapped the blonde on the shoulder and delivered a swift punch, sending her sprawling. The other two bullies charged at him, but he quickly dodged and countered with a spinning kick. He taunted them for losing to someone without a quirk. The blonde, enraged, charged at him, but Issei skillfully evaded her attack and countered with a powerful strike, sending her crashing to the ground, breathless but alive. The next day, after meeting Izumi, Issei prepared for his first day of school, realizing they would be attending the same school. He called out to his mother as he left, promising to be careful and avoid trouble. Outside, he encountered Izumi, who greeted him with a bright smile. Issei jokingly remarked that her smile should be illegal. She asked if he was ready for school, and he admitted to feeling nervous, especially after their previous encounter with her childhood friend. Izumi reassured him that she would help this time. Issei insisted he could handle himself and offered to train her in using the boosted gear after school. Izumi excitedly revealed that she had already bonded with Drake, giving him her heart. Issei was taken aback, expressing concern for her safety. Drake reminded Issei that Izumi had taken a calculated risk and that he had done something similar to save Rias. Issei sighed, asking Izumi to inform him before making such decisions in the future. She apologized, explaining that this was her path to becoming a true hero. Issei, however, expressed a desire for a normal life, questioning why she would want to pursue heroism when she had such great power. Issei felt a surge of determination, believing he could save countless lives. He reflected on his past, sharing that being a hero had once been his reality, but it was not as fulfilling as he had hoped. People often respected him only for his power and ability to defeat enemies. If he ever lost or took a break from being a hero, he would be dismissed as a joke. He expressed his desire to enjoy a normal life instead. Izumi, sensing the hurt in his voice, felt a pang of sympathy. Although she didn't know the details of his past, she instinctively hugged him, wanting to comfort him. She told him that he was already her hero, which made Issei blush with happiness. They shared a brief embrace before parting, mindful of their surroundings. However, at the school gate, someone was waiting for Izumi and was surprised to see Issei. Katsumi confronted Issei, questioning his presence. Issei asserted that he attended the school now and that Izumi was under his protection, warning her not to get any funny ideas. Katsumi, with a hint of respect, acknowledged that Issei had proven that even someone quirkless could become a hero, but she was determined to be the #1 hero herself. Izumi, feeling inspired, accepted Katsumi's challenge with enthusiasm. Katsumi urged them to hurry to class, vowing to defeat Issei next time they met. Issei shrugged off her threats, teasingly calling her "bomb woman" as he made his way to class. To his surprise, Issei found himself in the same class as Izumi and Katsumi. As he introduced himself to the class, he noticed Katsumi blushing and looking away in embarrassment. He shared that he had moved from Ko due to his father's job and playfully asked Katsumi about her earlier threats. When a student asked about his quirk, Izumi tensed, and Katsumi eagerly awaited his response. Issei revealed that he was quirkless, explaining that he was part of the 20% of the population without powers. However, he emphasized that being quirkless didn't mean he was powerless. To demonstrate, he took out some unusual flying discs from his bag, which began to float and surrounded him with a purple outline as lightning struck him. He explained that the discs, called Dynamos, allowed him to fly and HRS his own lightning, enhancing his speed and strength. As he showcased his abilities, he moved around the classroom at lightning speed, leaving his classmates in awe. The teacher, astonished, questioned how he achieved this without a quirk. Issei attributed his success to science, clarifying that the technology was still a prototype. Suddenly, a student shouted accusations at him, prompting Issei to respond with a warning, expressing his frustration. The teacher intervened, reminding Issei to keep the peace on his first day. Issei complied but made it clear that he would protect Izumi if anyone bullied her. Izumi reassured him that she would be fine, but Issei remained protective, insisting that he would take action if necessary. Katsumi then invited Izumi to have lunch together like old times, which excited Izumi. Issei, meanwhile, focused on the class, finding the material easy since he had already learned much of it in Kuo. During a moment of quiet, Issei entered his mindscape to connect with his powers, greeting his companions. They checked in on him, and he explained the challenges he faced in a world where quirks were the norm. His friends encouraged him, reminding him that he would eventually need to use their powers. As they chatted, Issei noticed a large group of familiar faces approaching, and he greeted them warmly, feeling a sense of camaraderie and excitement for the adventures that lay ahead. Zero observed Issei's progress with grand arc and acknowledged his efforts, noting the stubbornness of the entity. Jean approached, eager to push Issei's limits with some extra training, reminding him of the goal to break a mountain with his bare hands. Lei chimed in, teasing Issei and suggesting that he could easily accomplish the feat with magic. Issei, feeling a mix of irritation and disbelief, protested against being called small, while Dio urged Lei to ease up on him. Rufus, attempting to boost Issei's confidence, pointed out that being perceived as small could be an advantage, allowing him to surprise opponents. He reassured Issei that he had the ability to change his height whenever he wished, encouraging him to embrace his potential. Issei, however, found Rufus's mention of boss mode amusing, associating it more with Ryan's personality. Sieghart reminded Issei of the importance of controlling his anger, as it could lead him to a berserk state that would be difficult to manage. Issei admitted that he had come to hang out, as the current lessons felt easy, with Ad helping him navigate the material. Vega suggested that they could fit in some training, and Issei agreed, ready to make the most of the hour they had. After an hour of training, Issei exited the dreamscape when Izumi tapped him on the shoulder. She invited him to lunch with her and Katsumi, who playfully called Issei an extra. Issei accepted the invitation, but Katsumi insisted on being acknowledged. The two began to clash, their competitive spirits igniting sparks between them. Izumi, concerned, urged them to calm down. Drake encouraged Issei to embrace his new friendships and rivalries, and Izumi decided to trust his judgment. As they headed to the roof for lunch, Issei and Katsumi continued their playful banter. Izumi noticed a change in Katsumi, who seemed genuinely happy, and she couldn't help but giggle at the sight. This prompted Issei and Katsumi to share a laugh and a fist bump, solidifying their newfound camaraderie. Issei introduced himself formally, while Katsumi warned him that their friendship wouldn't mean she would let him surpass her. Issei reassured her that he wasn't aiming to be a hero again. Confused, Izumi and Katsumi pressed him for clarification. Issei took a deep breath and began to share his past, recounting how he became a devil and the struggles he faced in a raiding game to save Rias. He revealed the pain of being used and discarded by those he fought for, expressing his reluctance to embrace heroism again. Izumi was taken aback by his story, while Katsumi was astonished to learn that Issei had died twice and fought formidable foes. Issei reflected on the hurt of being forgotten, asserting that he would train but only for self-defense, not to seek glory. Izumi reminded him that he had used his power to protect her, to which Issei responded that he had acted on instinct, not out of desire for heroism. As Issei took a bite of his lunch, Katsumi and Izumi exchanged smirks. Izumi pulled out a notebook, excitedly sketching Issei while musing about his abilities. Katsumi guided her on what to include, prompting Issei to chase after her for a glimpse of the drawing, only for Katsumi to playfully restrain him. When Izumi finally revealed her sketch, Issei was impressed but puzzled about its purpose. She explained that it was her hero journal, meant to document heroes and potential future heroes. Katsumi teased Issei about his past, suggesting that he was more upset about not being able to play the hero again than about being discarded. Izumi pressed him to be honest about his feelings and whether he truly wished to be a hero once more. Issei was told that he could achieve his dream of becoming a hero because he had already shown his potential by saving someone when it wasn't necessary. Even though he often claimed he would just stay on the sidelines, deep down, it was clear he would jump into danger without hesitation. Drake commented on how easily Katsumi could read Issei's thoughts. Katsumi was shocked when she realized Izumi's arm was talking. Izumi and Issei exchanged glances, debating whether to explain the situation to Katsumi. Issei expressed his doubts about becoming a hero again, questioning whether it would bring him happiness or fulfillment. Frustrated, Katsumi playfully hit Issei on the head, urging him to give it a try and promising that if he didn't like it, he could quit later. Izumi reassured Issei that spending time with them would inspire him to want to be a hero. Issei sighed, acknowledging that he didn't have much of a choice. He agreed to think about it, stating that if they could change his mind in the next 3 years before they went to UA, he would follow them and strive to be the best hero he could be. Katsumi and Izumi were thrilled with his response. Izumi asked if she could create a page for him in her hero book, to which Issei joked that she would need more than one page to list all his powers. Katsumi was surprised to learn he had more than one power, and Issei admitted he had lost count but confirmed there were over 10. The two girls were astonished but excited, with Katsumi declaring that they would train every day until she could surpass him. Izumi revealed her gauntlets, which left Issei in shock. Drake explained that Izumi now possessed a dragon heart, something Issei could have achieved as well if he had pursued it. This sparked a playful argument between Issei and Drake, which made Izumi giggle while Katsumi laughed. Over the next 3 years, their bond grew stronger. Katsumi became more considerate, while Izumi learned to stand up for herself. She achieved Balance Breaker with Drake and developed dragon-slaying magic, which impressed Issei. Katsumi's explosive powers improved significantly, allowing her to create massive explosions, while Izumi could break through mountains. Issei mastered his powers and worked on combining them, knowing that they would all become stronger together. As they reached their teenage years, Katsumi and Izumi confessed their feelings for Issei, asking him to date them. Issei, just finishing his shift at a coffee shop, initially thought they were joking, but their serious expressions made him reconsider. He admitted he would be happy to date both of them, but questioned if it was right. Katsumi took the lead, kissing Issei, followed by Izumi, who needed his support to reach him. Issei sighed, realizing that if they could handle his quirks, he would gladly accept them as his girlfriends. With their new relationship, Katsumi and Izumi began staying at Issei's apartment, where he had been living alone for a year while his parents worked. They had decided to stay with him to keep him company. Issei couldn't help but notice how attractive Katsumi's mother was when she asked if her daughter could stay with him for some time. Now, as they shared a bed, Issei found himself in a new situation, hoping to control his reactions to their closeness. Vegas needed assistance, and he was doing his best. Eve urged Issei to control himself, as Raven and Ellsworth were struggling to fend off the red blood cells to reach their destination. Ellie remarked that it was hard to blame Issei, given how attractive the girls were. Elysis expressed her surprise at how a cute, innocent girl like Izumi could have such an impressive figure. Aisha commented on Issei's luck. Inside Issei's body, things had calmed down as he finally fell asleep. Meanwhile, Raven and Ellsworth were covered in blood, not their own, but they were helping Issei maintain their legacy. This was Issei's life until the day they would leave high school for UA Academy. Issei sighed, still unable to believe he agreed to attend UA. Izumi teased him, while Katsumi declared that at least they would be together, and she could challenge him. Issei accepted the challenge, and their teacher, witnessing the banter, called them out. Issei retorted that it wasn't his fault the teacher didn't have much excitement in his life anymore. The teacher, frustrated but willing to let it slide since it was their last day, watched as Issei high-fived Katsumi while Izumi giggled. As class ended, the three of them began to leave school. Issei had to go to work and said goodbye to his girlfriends. Katsumi needed to deliver lunch to her mother, leaving Izumi to head home alone. They apologized for parting ways, but Izumi assured them it was fine. On her way home, Izumi encountered the Slime Master, but thanks to her boosted gear, she quickly dispatched him. She then met All Might, her favorite hero, but he left to keep his identity a secret. Confused, she continued home, only to witness a hero versus villain scenario where Katsumi was captured and held hostage. Angered by the pros in action, Izumi activated her balance breaker, freeing Katsumi from the slime's grasp. Issei, watching the news, was shocked and rushed out of the coffee shop, startling his boss. He understood why Izumi had rushed into danger. He arrived just in time to see Izumi confronting the slime monster. In a flash of white armor, Issei declared his transformation into guardian mode. Izumi felt tears of relief as she saw her boyfriend come to their rescue, while Katsumi, though weak, managed to smirk. Issei confronted the slime monster, expressing his fury and determination to protect his girls. He unleashed a powerful attack, defeating the monster and capturing it in a jar, tossing it to the pros. Issei chastised the heroes for their failure to act, stating that 2 kids had to step in to save 1 person. He deactivated his armor, revealing his true self, and picked up Katsumi in a bridal carry, making her blush. Izumi, feeling a bit jealous, hopped onto his back. Before they could head home, they were surprised by All Might's sudden appearance. Issei was in awe, while Katsumi and Izumi reacted with excitement. However, their admiration turned to confusion when All Might suddenly transformed, appearing frail and weak. Issei questioned who he was, while Katsumi was ready to confront him. Issei tried to calm her down, and they exchanged playful banter. All Might revealed his true form and explained the reason behind it, showing them a scar that explained his condition. He then asked if any of them would like to inherit the power of One for All. The 3 of them stood in shock, all responding in unison with disbelief. Issei, still processing the situation, interrupted All Might, stating that he didn't want his quirk. Issei felt confident in his ability to protect himself and those he cared about. Katsumi expressed her reluctance to accept a quirk, stating that her goal was to defeat Issei, and using his quirk would damage her pride. Izumi hesitated, unsure of her decision. Both Issei and Katsumi exchanged knowing glances at Izumi, aware that despite having Drake, she still desired a quirk. Issei smiled encouragingly, and Katsumi playfully nudged Izumi toward All Might. Katsumi remarked that Izumi would make a great successor. Issei urged Izumi, acknowledging her true desire. All Might then asked if she would accept his offer to become the next symbol of peace. Izumi looked to Issei for reassurance, and he smiled and nodded, understanding that with the quirk and Drake's power boost, she would become a formidable force in the future. Izumi declared her acceptance of All Might's offer. All Might instructed her to meet him at Dagoba Municipal Beach Park for further discussion. He left before Issei could inquire about his remarkable weight loss. As they made their way home, they encountered Izumi's and Katsumi's mothers, who were anxiously waiting for them. Mitsuki thanked Issei for his heroics, while Inko expressed pride in Izumi for her bravery but also scolded her for jumping into danger. She then thanked Issei for saving both girls. Issei downplayed his actions, stating he was merely doing what other heroes should have done. He expressed concern that the world had witnessed him in action as a hero. Inko questioned if that was a bad thing. Issei explained that if the news reached Kuo, his old acquaintances might try to recruit him again. Mitsuki was puzzled by the term recruit. Issei elaborated on the supernatural, explaining that his newfound strength would attract attention from those who viewed people as tools, particularly Rias Gremory, who had previously sought to recruit him. Izumi asked who Rias was, and Issei described her as someone spoiled and self-important. Katsumi quickly voiced her disdain for Rias. Issei noted that while they might come after him, he had been wearing armor during the fight, which concealed his identity. Izumi suggested they keep his identity hidden, but Issei warned that it would be challenging, as he enjoyed using the armor to keep his face concealed. He planned to surprise their teacher when they arrived at school. Izumi teased that Issei would attract more attention than usual. Katsumi reminded them that Rumi, a pro-hero, intended to visit. Issei felt apprehensive, recalling that Rumi had once mistaken him for a villain. He remembered how she had followed him after their encounter, and both Izumi and Katsumi suspected that Rumi had feelings for him, recalling a time she had taken playful pictures of him while he slept. Inko expressed her gratitude for Issei's care of the girls, while Mitsuki thanked him for looking after her daughter and wished him luck with Rumi. Issei, feeling overwhelmed, requested that they stay a little longer. Rumi insisted that Issei needed company to feel more at ease. She burst into the room, demanding a fight, while Issei expressed his frustration about the late hour. He suggested that Rumi return the next day for training, as they needed to prepare for UA in 10 months. Izumi and Katsumi teased him, hinting at their own shared feelings for him. Issei playfully warned them about locking his door, which made them quiet down, allowing him a moment of satisfaction. Rumi declared her intention to join their training, and Issei reluctantly agreed, knowing All Might wanted to train them. Izumi, ever the instigator, encouraged Rumi to confess her feelings for Issei, while he tried to deflect the conversation. Rumi laughed at the situation, and Issei, feeling embarrassed, retreated to his room, locking the door to avoid further teasing. Despite their complaints, Rumi and Izumi settled down for the night. The following day, after the acceptance exams, Issei was not thrilled about wearing the tight UA uniform. He suspected Principal Nizu had chosen it deliberately, given his comments during the exam. Nonetheless, he decided to arrive early at school to catch up on sleep. Upon entering classroom 1A, he found himself alone and took a moment to rest. As classmates began to arrive, Katsumi playfully woke him up, and he greeted her and Shinso. Issei was surprised to see Ida, who immediately began organizing everyone. Issei found Ida's behavior irritating and became annoyed when Ida tried to wake him up. In a moment of frustration, he grabbed Ida's wrist, warning him to keep his distance and relax. Katsumi scolded Issei for his reaction, while Ida insisted on upholding the rules of the school. Issei expressed his disdain for heroes who sought fame and fortune, sharing his belief that true heroes were rare. Before the tension escalated further, Izumi intervened, urging Issei to calm down to avoid expulsion on the first day. Issei apologized, acknowledging his overreaction but standing firm in his views. Ida challenged Issei's behavior, questioning his aspirations to become a hero, but before the argument could continue, a new voice interrupted, revealing another presence in the room. If anyone is here just to start fights, they should leave, as that behavior will not be tolerated in the classroom. Issei apologized, stating he didn't mean for things to escalate. Izumi asked who their teacher was, and Aizawa introduced himself as their homeroom teacher, Shota Aizawa. He pressed a button, revealing UA gym uniforms, and instructed the students to put them on and meet him outside for a quirk test in 10 minutes. As Aizawa walked out, the students began to change. Issei grabbed the uniform, finding it preferable to the school uniform. Changed in the boys' dressing room, not concerned about showing his scars. Shinso noticed the scars and expressed surprise, to which Issei explained that he had many scars from before he joined the school. Kirishima chimed in, saying that scars made Issei look manly, and Issei agreed, mentioning that Izumi, Katsumi, and Rumi thought the same. Mineta was shocked to learn that Rumi was Issei's girlfriend, along with Izumi and Katsumi, and Issei warned him not to mess with them. The other boys nodded in agreement, including Ida. Ojiro asked about the scars, and Issei revealed they were from a fight in his hometown against someone incredibly strong. The revelation sent a chill through the group. They left the dressing room and made their way to the field, where the girls were already gathered. Aizawa announced that they could begin the testing. Uraraka raised a concern about missing a ceremony and guidance counselor meeting, but Aizawa insisted that if they wanted to be heroes, they shouldn't worry about such small matters. He stated that he would teach the students in his own way and asked if there were any questions. The students nodded in response. Aizawa called Issei up first, noting that Nizu had seen great potential in him and wanted to see what he could do. Issei was excited and ready to demonstrate. Aizawa asked what Issei's best throw was without using his quirk, and Issei estimated it was around 75 meters. Aizawa then instructed him to do it using his quirk. Issei smirked as he summoned his dynamos, which began to float around him, surprising many students who thought they only shot blasts. He started building up lightning in his hand, catching Kaminari's attention. The dynamos spun in a circle, charging up power, and Issei threw the ball through them, launching it into the sky. The sound barrier was broken, pushing everyone back, including Aizawa, who was surprised by the result. Aizawa recorded a distance of 2,763 meters. Issei was eager to go again, but Aizawa informed him it was time for someone else to take their turn. Katsumi stepped up, ready to show her skills. She equipped her Impurity Arm, a quirk that confused everyone, and threw the ball, achieving a distance of 2,573 meters. Next was Izumi, who activated her boosted gear, drawing everyone's attention, including Aizawa's. When he attempted to erase her quirk, it remained intact. Issei explained that it was a sacred gear, not a quirk, and it boosted her power significantly. Izumi then threw the ball with all her strength, pushing everyone back, including Issei, who managed to regain his balance thanks to his dynamos. Aizawa was able to stay in place as well, but others were sent crashing into a wall. Issei remarked that Izumi would dominate the test. Aizawa's device recorded an astonishing 5,000 meters, leaving everyone in shock. Issei was surprised by the result, and Izumi proudly declared that she now controlled 50% of her quirk. Katsumi acknowledged her as an amazing rival, while Mineta called her a monster. Shinso wondered how Issei managed to date her, and Momo noted that the three were the strongest in their class. Shoka Todoroki, who always saw herself as the strongest, was frustrated by this. Tokoyami questioned if the three even needed training, while Kirishima cheered for more. Mina expressed excitement about the activities to come, and Issei realized they might be in for a challenge. Jean agreed that they were in trouble, and Amy noted that Aizawa took things seriously. Vega suggested that Mineta might be the one to be expelled, and Aizawa questioned if they found the situation fun. The stakes were raised when it was announced that the student who finished in last place would be expelled and replaced with someone more promising. Issei anticipated this outcome, knowing he needed to put in serious effort to avoid that fate. As the test began, everyone took it more seriously. Issei faced Ida in the 50-meter dash. Confident in his quirk, Ida believed he would easily defeat Issei. However, Issei had a plan. Using his dynamos, he boosted his speed and finished the race in an impressive time of 0.01 seconds, leaving Ida, who clocked in at 3.04 seconds, astonished by Issei's speed. Next up was Izumi, who finished with a time of 1.04 seconds, closely followed by Katsumi, who matched her time. Shinso managed a respectable 4.64 seconds, still adjusting to his Impurity Arm but improving from his middle school days. The grip strength test followed, where Issei, Izumi, Katsumi, and Shinso all broke the machine. Katsumi and Shinso's strength came from their Impurity Arms, while Izumi enhanced her power with her quirk, and Issei utilized Zero's strength. During the standing long jump, Issei soared through the air using his dynamos, while Katsuki employed her explosions and Izumi used her quirk. Shinso didn't jump as far as the others but still outperformed Mineta. The sidestep test saw Issei concede defeat to Mineta, who had a surprisingly effective quirk for this challenge. Mineta secured second place, with Katsumi in third, Izumi in fourth, and Shinso in fifth. The ball throw was next, and Issei had already passed, so he waited for the results. The final standings were announced. Izumi Midoriya, Katsuki Bakugu, Shoka Todoroki, Shinso Hitoshi, Momo Yaoyorozu, Tenya Ida, Fumikage Tokoyami, Shijimez, Ojiro Mashireo, Kirishima Iger, Mina Ishido, Yurarko Chogo, Koji Koda, Rikido Sato, Tsuyu Azui, Yuga Oyama, Antasiro, Denki Kaminari, Kyokujiro, Toru Hagakure, Mineta Minoru. Issei felt proud of his performance, noting that he wouldn't expect less from himself. Izumi cautioned him not to get too cocky, reminding him that both she and Katsumi knew he wouldn't take it easy on the tests. Issei playfully responded that he had to keep some secrets and couldn't reveal his full power. Katsumi agreed, saying they had also gone easy on the tests, so they couldn't blame him too much. As the results settled in, Issei acknowledged the unfortunate fate of the last-place student. Aizawa confirmed that Mineta would be expelled and replaced, prompting Mineta to panic. He lamented not having the chance to interact with Izumi, which only fueled Issei's anger. In a moment of frustration, Issei summoned his dynamos and delivered a powerful uppercut to Mineta, sending him crashing into the pile of ball they had been throwing. Issei warned Mineta to stay away from his friends, expressing his disdain for the pervert's behavior. Drake noted that at least Issei had matured enough to avoid such antics. Izumi, agreed, suggesting that the class would have turned against Mineta if he hadn't changed. Aizawa tried to intervene, but Rumi scolded Issei for his actions, pulling on his ear in frustration. Issei couldn't understand how Rumi could overpower him in these situations despite his combat skills. He protested, insisting that Mineta should have known better than to mess with his friends. Issei had done some research and discovered that Mineta had a troubling history of inappropriate behavior in middle school, which only intensified his resolve to protect his classmates. How is he not in jail yet? Aizawa paused, surprised by the news. Issei showed Aizawa Mineta's record, revealing everything. Aizawa, seeing this, wrapped Mineta in his scarf and brought him to Nizu. Issei smirked in victory, at least he had gotten rid of that guy. However, he was now left wondering who would replace that troublesome individual. Momo expressed her astonishment, stating that she hadn't expected their teacher to expel someone. She thought it was merely a tactic to encourage them to work harder. Issei confirmed that Aizawa was serious about his role, but at least they had passed the test, which was good news for everyone. Shinso commented on how hard Issei had hit Mineta. Issei admitted he had used 50% of his base power, likely causing a dislocated jaw. Katsumi laughed, acknowledging Issei's strength. Rumi then called for everyone to return to class, announcing she would substitute while Aizawa dealt with a certain pervert. As everyone changed out of their gym uniforms and returned to class, Rumi kept Issei behind for a quick spar. Katsumi and Izumi went home, feeling hungry and wanting to nap. After the spar, Issei and Rumi parted ways, and as Issei made his way home, he sensed someone following him. Instead of heading home, he decided to go to the park and confronted the person tailing him. He demanded to know who they were and why they were following him. The figure revealed themselves as Valley, claiming to be Issei's rival. Issei noted that it had been 3 years since they last interacted and asked for the reason behind Valley's presence. Valley explained that, despite their past, he had learned from his mistakes and was not there to fight. He warned Issei that he would be moving to his class at UA, as Aizawa had requested it. Issei listened, curious about the warning. Valley mentioned that the girls Issei thought had moved on were actually interested in him again. Issei was taken aback, questioning why they would want to return now. Valley speculated that they had learned from their past mistakes and genuinely wanted Issei's affection. Issei scoffed, feeling they were too late, especially since he had already given his heart to Izumi, Katsumi, and Rumi. Valley pointed out that the girls were aware of Issei's harem and would do anything to be part of it. Issei firmly stated that unless they wanted to be friends, they should stay away from him. Valley concluded their conversation, saying he would see Issei tomorrow as his new classmate. Issei waved goodbye and headed home, where his parents had already set the dinner table. After eating, he went to his room to do homework, losing track of time until it was 11 p.m. As he prepared for bed, he noticed Katsumi at his window, asking him to open it, while Izumi emerged from his closet with a blanket and pillow. Rumi entered through the door, having been let in by his parents. Issei sighed in exasperation as Izumi told him to scoot over for bed. Katsumi teased him, saying they knew he enjoyed sleeping with them. Rumi added that while she usually disagreed with group sleeping arrangements, she would allow it this time. Issei resignedly told them to get into bed, reminding them they had another day of classes ahead. Rumi then mentioned she would be helping All Might with the next class, leaving Issei feeling overwhelmed. The next day, Issei woke up feeling exhausted. Rumi's presence was relentless, and her sleeping habits annoyed him slightly, but he managed to cope. It was just another normal class with Aizawa until he announced that a certain hero would be training them that day, All Might himself. All Might burst through the door with enthusiasm, prompting Issei to comment that he was not entering like a normal person. Izumi agreed, and Katsumi questioned how All Might remained number one. All Might acknowledged the challenge of their class, while Aizawa, uninterested, pulled out his sleeping bag and flask. Issei questioned the responsibility of a teacher drinking in front of them. Aizawa reminded him not to reveal his secret, referencing Issei's own past antics with Rumi. Issei laughed, declaring Aizawa his favorite teacher and asking to learn his ways. Aizawa instructed him to grab a sleeping bag for training. All Might then called for Issei to change into his hero costume, and Issei headed to the changing room. His costume, designed with the help of his parents, was something he promised to wear as a hero. As he emerged, Katsumi complimented his style, while Izumi playfully suggested he should have worn a tighter shirt. Issei teased back, asking if she wanted all the girls to flock to him. Izumi quickly dismissed the idea, leaving the atmosphere lighthearted as they prepared for the day ahead. Issei noticed Shoka giving him subtle glances. He mentioned that she was the girl with the ice and flame quirk, and Izumi pointed out that she seemed to have taken a liking to him, though she didn't understand why. Issei speculated that it might be because she often stared at him, as well as at Katsumi and Shinso. Shinso was confused and questioned why he was included in that observation. Issei suggested it could be because Shinso had placed 5th in the quirk test, implying that Shoka might see him as a rival for her position. Shinso sighed, realizing he now had another competitor to contend with. As class began, All Might informed everyone that due to the recent arrest of their classmate Mineta, they had a new student from Class 1B joining them. He asked everyone to treat the newcomer well, and the class responded enthusiastically. Valle entered wearing his usual attire, and Issei didn't expect much from him beyond his basic style. Valle introduced himself as Valle Lucifer, now a student of Class 1A. Issei expressed surprise at Valle's arrival, recalling their past rivalry that had faded when he had stepped back from training and the hero life. However, it seemed fate had brought him back into the fray. Valle remarked that their rivalry would continue, and Issei welcomed the challenge. The two exchanged smirks until Katsumi interrupted, reminding them to focus as All Might was about to explain the upcoming test. Issei playfully complained about Katsumi's rudeness, to which she responded that it was her way of showing affection. Valle chuckled at their dynamic, noting that even now, Issei struggled with girls, but at least he seemed happy. All Might began explaining the lesson, detailing that 2 students would be paired up to fight another set of 2, with the roles of hero and villain assigned. The hero's objective was to deactivate a bomb, while the villains needed to protect it for 30 minutes to win. He also mentioned that the heroes would have capture tape to subdue the villains. Issei found the task straightforward but raised a concern about the odd number of students, which would require 1 pair to fight twice. All Might then announced that Issei would be fighting the new student, Valle. You will be the villain, and Valle will be the hero. Issei felt a surge of excitement as he prepared for the battle. He knew Valle had trained hard and was not as weak as he once thought. The combat began with Izumi and Uraraka facing off against Katsumi and Ida. Issei found himself torn, unsure of whom to cheer for. The intensity of the fight was palpable, with Izumi and Katsumi unleashing powerful attacks that threatened to bring the building down. Ultimately, Izumi and Uraraka emerged victorious, thanks to a stray fire attack from Izumi that struck Ida, giving Uraraka the opportunity to touch the bomb. Issei shook his head in disbelief, expressing his frustration at their lack of restraint. Izumi questioned the fun in holding back, while Katsumi pointed out that Issei could heal them anyway. Issei warned them that if they continued to think that way, he might reconsider healing them. In a playful gesture, Izumi needed Katsumi to quiet her down. Issei then offered them a healing orb infused with his grandial power, noting their impressive defenses. As the battle concluded, Issei pondered who the MVP of the fight was. He concluded that it had to be Ida and Uraraka. Ida had played his role well as the villain, strategically removing anything that could assist Uraraka. Meanwhile, Uraraka had demonstrated quick thinking by floating toward the bomb amidst the chaos. Issei acknowledged that while Izumi and Katsumi had shown great strength, their rivalry had hindered their performance. All Might observed the discussion with surprise, as Issei's insights were unexpected. Momo, initially inclined to choose Ida as the MVP, found herself reconsidering after hearing Issei's analysis. Valle, intrigued, questioned when Issei had become so insightful. Issei replied that he had always been smart, despite his past reputation. Valle insisted that he would only recognize Issei as his rival, determined to prove himself as the top fighter. As the fights continued, Issei noted the impressive abilities of his classmates, particularly Kirishima's hardening quirk and Kaminari's lightning powers, although the latter's intelligence often suffered as a result. Finally, it was time for Issei to face Valley. The two locked eyes, ready to begin their duel. Valley initiated the confrontation, recalling their past encounters, while Issei embraced his role as the villain, unleashing his power with determination. After the training with all might and reconnecting with his old crushes, Issei was unprepared for the day's events. Though classes seemed normal, he was still focused on his training with Aizawa. Izumi approached him, urging him to join the others for lunch. Issei, lounging on the floor, gave her a tired look, prompting Aizawa to comment on his dedication. Katsumi, taking charge, picked Issei up and carried him to the cafeteria, despite his protests. Izumi insisted that Issei couldn't be lazy all day, while Shinso expressed that he would have joined Issei if he weren't busy training. Issei defended his need for rest, but Katsumi was determined to get him moving. The group reminisced about a previous incident where they had played a prank on Issei, which only fueled his annoyance. Rumi joined them, offering Issei a chance to join her in the lounge for more space, but Izumi reminded everyone of the importance of mingling with their peers. Rumi warned Issei about a potential rival for his affections, teasing him about a certain pro-hero's interest in him. Issei could only lament his luck as the group continued their banter, navigating the complexities of friendship and rivalry in their unique world. His friends sat down to eat while Rumi returned to the teacher's lounge to enjoy her meal. Issei welcomed a few more people to join them: Uraraka, Tsuyu, Kaminari, and Kirishima. Kaminari asked if they could sit with them, and Issei cheerfully encouraged them to join, saying that the more, the merrier. Kirishima expressed his gratitude to Issei for the invitation. When Issei wasn't frustrated with Ida, he could actually be a pretty cool guy. He thought about how annoying Ida was, always acting so high and mighty. While they were heroes in training, not every hero from their school earned his respect. Many joined for money and fame, but a true hero focused on saving lives without caring about recognition. Izumi added that true heroes did it with a smile. Issei pointed out that was just All Might's style, and while he couldn't judge him for it, he acknowledged All Might's efforts to keep people safe. Kaminari suggested changing the topic, sensing Issei's annoyance with the discussion about Ida. Issei welcomed the idea. Kirishima then asked about Issei's quirk, noting how he had transformed dramatically in the training room and used a purple lightning power during the ball throw. Issei revealed that he was quirkless. Uraraka was surprised, questioning how he could do all those things. Issei explained that, although he was quirkless, he wasn't powerless. The abilities they had seen were either magic or science. Tsuyu expressed disbelief at the mention of magic. Issei demonstrated Ioza's power, with golden chains floating around him. He clarified that these chains were different from the ones he had used in his demon form. He could manipulate the length of the chains and had many more powers to reveal later. Kaminari asked if that meant Issei had healing abilities too, noting that both he and Valley had come out of their recent battle unscathed. Issei confirmed this, explaining that he could choose from multiple healing methods. Uraraka marveled at the idea that Issei might be the strongest in their class. Issei modestly acknowledged this, ranking Valley second, Izumi third, Katsumi fourth, and Shinso fifth, while noting Shoka's position. Shinso expressed gratitude for being part of the hero course, and Issei reminded him that he wouldn't have made it without his help, as Shinso's quirk wouldn't have been effective against the robots. Kaminari eagerly asked if Issei could teach them. Issei considered it and agreed, stating he could help them grow stronger. Uraraka was surprised at how easily he agreed. Issei explained that he saw the potential for good in all of them and wanted to help them become heroes. Tsuyu remarked that she wished she had voted for Issei to be class president instead. Issei quickly dismissed the idea, claiming he would dislike the responsibility. He joked that he would just pass all the paperwork to Momo, who already looked at him as if he had done something wrong. Just as everyone was finishing their food, an alarm blared, signaling an intruder breaking in. Issei found it odd that someone would attack the school directly. Izumi questioned the panic around them, pointing out that they were training to be heroes and should act accordingly. Katsumi chimed in, agreeing with Izumi. Issei sighed and activated his dynamos, lifting everyone into the air. Kirishima expressed his gratitude for Issei's help, Issei felt relieved as he mentioned they just needed to wait for the situation to settle down before preparing for the upcoming field trip that Aizawa had planned for them. Izumi was surprised to hear about the field trip, and Issei explained that being under Aizawa's guidance meant he often received updates about such events. Izumi noted that she needed to fix her costume, so she would be wearing the school uniform instead. Katsumi chimed in, mentioning that his mother had already bought him a new costume, so he was all set. Shinso asked Issei about his costume, to which Issei replied that he technically had one, but since he could transform using his other powers, he didn't need a specific costume. Kirishima inquired about the activities planned for the trip, and Issei casually mentioned that they would mainly be focused on rescuing civilians, which he felt prepared for. Kaminari urged Issei to share more details, but Issei playfully insisted they would have to wait. The earlier chaos caused by the villain had subsided, revealing that it was just news reporters who had managed to enter the premises. Issei found it puzzling since none of them had quirks, but he decided it wasn't his concern. As the time for the field trip approached, All Might joined them, surprising Issei, who had expected All Might to be busy with hero work. All Might explained that thanks to Issei's healing, he was able to join them on the trip. Valley expressed his confusion about the number of classes attending, and Aizawa confirmed that they were waiting for another class. Just then, Snipe arrived, apologizing for being late due to getting sidetracked with schoolwork. Aizawa hurried everyone onto the bus, introducing Class 1D, which made Issei's mood sour as he recognized some familiar faces. Issei couldn't believe his eyes and expressed his frustration, prompting Ida to admonish him for his language. Issei snapped back, clearly not in the mood for reprimands. Rias and Aquino approached, teasing Issei about their shared trip, but Issei dismissed them, feeling uncomfortable with their presence. The group was taken aback by Issei's bluntness, as he had never spoken so harshly before. Rias attempted to coax Issei into being honest with them, but he firmly stated he would rather not associate with her after their past. Ignoring the comments, Issei made his way to their bus, while Rias tried to follow until Valley intervened, warning her to leave Issei alone. Valley expressed his frustration with Rias, reminding her that she had hurt Issei and should respect his feelings. Izumi, Katsumi, and Shinso prepared to support Issei, while Kirishima declared he wouldn't hesitate to defend his friend, regardless of the circumstances. Rias, realizing the tension, chose to leave with her group, and Izumi decided to check on Issei. Katsumi and Shinso followed her, eager to help. Valley observed the other students discussing Issei and urged them not to judge without knowing the full story. He walked onto the bus, finding Issei surrounded by his friends, but noticed the barrier he had created to keep others at bay. Valley instructed everyone to back up. He smashed through the barrier, catching Issei's attention. Issei reflected on how others must perceive him, feeling a bit self-conscious. Valley reassured him that his opinion of Issei had not changed, taking a seat in front of him with Kirishima beside him. Kirishima expressed curiosity about Issei's feelings towards a certain girl, noting that it was unusual behavior for him. Kaminari added that while the girl was attractive, he felt something unsettling about her presence, as if she were plotting something. With a sigh, Issei decided it was time to share his story, knowing that the truth would come out eventually. As the others boarded the bus, All Might chose to sit in the back with Issei and his friends, eager to learn more about Issei's past. Issei posed a question about their beliefs in the supernatural. Tsuyu asked if he meant demons and angels, to which Issei confirmed. Uraraka pointed out that while they had quirks, which could be seen as supernatural, she didn't believe in the existence of angels and demons. Valley offered to demonstrate, revealing his demon wings, which inadvertently brushed against Kirishima and All Might. Momo was taken aback by the revelation. Valley explained that he was the son of Lucifer, sharing a tragic backstory about his mother being killed by his uncle. He reassured them that he had moved on from his past, even having avenged his mother with Issei's help. Mina was shocked to learn that they had both taken lives. Issei admitted to having killed more than once but wanted to return to his story about the supernatural. He revealed that 3 years ago, he had worked for a girl named Rias Gremory, who was a high-class demon. Kaminari was surprised to hear about a human working for a demon. Issei clarified that he had actually become a demon himself after dying at the hands of a fallen angel who viewed him as a threat. Rias had revived him, but he felt betrayed by her lack of warning before his death. He recounted his entire adventure, including the betrayal that still brought him pain. Mina expressed sympathy for Issei, while Shoka noted that even after everything he had been rejected and his achievements taken away. Izumi held onto Issei's arm for comfort, while Katsumi discreetly took his hand, trying to uplift his spirits. All Might praised Issei for rising above his hatred and not seeking revenge, despite having the power to do so. He commended Issei for becoming stronger and fighting for humanity, emphasizing the importance of their mission to bring peace and safety. Kagekure was surprised to learn that Vale had once been on the opposing side, to which Vale defended his change in perspective, admitting he still had a love for battle. Issei acknowledged this, and Vale playfully challenged him about enjoying their fights. Shoji noted that understanding Issei's full story helped them comprehend his feelings of animosity. Issei affirmed his refusal to work with those who had wronged him, though he recognized the necessity of collaboration in their pursuit of becoming heroes. Aizawa reminded them that regardless of personal feelings, it was better to work together to accomplish their goals. Issei, eager to shift the mood, asked how much longer until they reached their destination. Aizawa informed them it would be no more than 10 minutes, advising everyone to prepare for their arrival, where they would be greeted by two heroes, one to teach them the proper way to save people and the other, a partner from Issei's harem, who had expressed interest in joining them. Issei, Izumi, and Katsumi all recognized the name Miruko. They all finally arrived at the USJ, and Rias attempted to talk to Issei, but he ignored her, continuing toward the building with Izumi and Katsumi linking arms with him, which frustrated Rias. As they entered, they were greeted by Miruko and the black hole hero, 13. Issei remarked on the dangers of black holes, sharing a story about almost losing his pet hamster in one. Izumi expressed surprise, not recalling seeing a hamster in his room, to which Issei assured her that it had lived a good 2 years. Miruko then interrupted their conversation, emphasizing the importance of paying attention. She explained that they would be undergoing several simulations where they would need to save people in various situations, highlighting the unpredictability of their future missions. 13 echoed her sentiment, reminding everyone that they might find themselves in unexpected scenarios. Kiba noted that one could never expect the unexpected, prompting Issei to retort about Kiba's past difficulties working with church groups due to his swords. Rias called out to Issei, but he firmly stated that he was not her pawn or friend, declaring his intent to be a hero and asserting his independence. The atmosphere grew tense, and All Might decided to break the silence by suggesting they split into groups to begin their training. Issei expressed his eagerness to demonstrate his abilities, but before he could finish, he sensed a dark energy approaching. He alerted All Might to the impending danger just as he transformed into his Ein-Richer form, preparing to block an incoming sword attack aimed at All Might. The attacker acknowledged Issei's skill, and Issei confronted him, expressing his anger at the attack on his teacher. Izumi and Katsumi recognized that Issei had never faced them in this form, while Vale noted the holy energy emanating from Issei, recalling how it had been effective against him in the past. Issei countered the attack, knocking the enemy back, where he landed in front of two others, one with a black flaming head and the other resembling an emo figure with multiple hands. The newcomer acknowledged Issei's worthiness, while Era, one of the heroes, expressed shock at seeing her brother among the villains. All Might demanded to know who they were and how they had infiltrated the facility, while Aizawa urged everyone to evacuate, declaring that this was no simulation but a real threat. Vale stood beside Issei, wielding his sacred gear, reminiscing about their past encounters. Aizawa insisted they leave immediately, but Shigaraki and Kurogiri were determined to stay. Kurogiri attempted to open dark portals to transport the students, but Issei and Vale intervened, with Vale striking Shigaraki and Issei delivering a swift blow to Kurogiri. Issei declared that they would not allow the villains to succeed. However, Era's brother snapped his fingers, locking everyone inside the building and summoning additional villains that Shigaraki had intended to bring. Issei realized they were in for a fight, and Vale agreed. Ran, one of the villains, proclaimed his intent to engage them, summoning an ally named Karis to assist him. Valley taunted Karis, showing no fear of facing her. Issei glanced at his classmates, noting their hesitation to fight, except for Izumi, Katsumi, Shinso, and Shoka, who were ready to stand their ground. Izumi asserted their readiness to fight, while Katsumi vowed to unleash her full power. Shinso declared that he had changed and was eager to demonstrate his growth. Shoka challenged everyone to bring their best. AM expressed the need for the students to prepare, emphasizing that this was their first mission as heroes. Kaminari found the situation overwhelming. Kirishima encouraged everyone to stay focused and ready, refusing to let the situation defeat them. Issei offered assistance, raising his hand to release colorful lights that entered his classmates' bodies. Kaminari was surprised by the sudden change. Ad warned Kaminari that his weapons required skill to wield effectively. Kaminari felt the surge of power from the yellow dynamos now at his side, realizing he could adapt to this new ability. The group was linked to Issei's soul, each gaining unique enhancements that would eventually return to him. Izumi was amazed by the transformation. Shinso noted that everyone seemed to have gained a power boost. Issei expressed his trust in his classmates, encouraging them to use their powers in conjunction with their quirks. He reminded them that their mentors believed in them, urging them to fight bravely as heroes. Kirishima rallied the group, ready to take on the challenge. Rias declared her intention to fight alongside them. Snipe cautioned everyone to stay alert. Irina remarked on Issei's growth, suggesting that he had been chosen for a significant task, hinting at his potential to become a new leader. Katsumi dismissed Irina's enthusiasm, teasing her about her lofty dreams. Meanwhile, Issei was engaged in a sword fight with Ran, both exchanging powerful blows that sparked with energy. Ran expressed his thrill at facing a worthy opponent, eager to push beyond his limits. Issei, confident, noted that he had only been using a fraction of his power. With a swift move, Issei struck Ran, sending him airborne before drawing his pistols and unleashing a barrage of shots. Issei smirked, enjoying the challenge as Ran's expression shifted from anger to excitement. The battle for survival began, with the students wielding newfound powers, still learning how to assess them. Their journey continued, and the outcome remained uncertain. Issei hoped everyone enjoyed the chapter, humorously acknowledging the quirks of the story's creator. Naisu commented on the plot, teasing Issei about his tendency to distract from it. Issei waved goodbye, hinting that the next chapter would focus on his classmates' battles, promising more action to come.